Happy New Year to all you beautiful people. I'm your host, Zappora Camper. I know it's been a while since I've blogged. A lot has happened. Today I want to talk to you about elevation versus promotion. And I want to provide you with some factual definition. Elevation is the act or fact of elevating or being elevated. The second definition for elevation is a height above a given level, especially sea level. I have a picture of my aunt. We had a death in the family. She passed away on December 24th of 2019. And it kind of shook me because as a living being, death always comes as a surprise and it rocks your world. No matter how what the severity of the situation is, or whether the person becomes frail, you always think that there's a chance that they can basically beat Father Time and outlive the present circumstance. It's almost like we have faith for someone else and we believe. But if the person wants to let go, they'll let go. And if it's their time to go, and God wants to collect his soul, he'll come back for it. For whatever reason, we want to hold on to people when they're suffering and when they are in a bad place and they're already letting go. But for us, for the living, we want to hold on to them as tightly as we possibly can. But when it's time to transition from this life to the next, there's nothing that you or I can do to stop the process. The Bible talks about, it's an excerpt from the Bible, it states, it is appointed of man once to die, only once. So I wanted to talk to you today about elevation versus promotion. And you just heard the definition of elevation. The definition of promotion, and we can be elevated in so many different ways, from a metaphysical perspective. We can be elevated, and I'm going to touch on that more in a few seconds. But I want to share with you the definition of promotion. Promotion is the activity that supports or provides active encouragement for the furtherance of a cause, venture, or aim. And I want to stick to the furtherance of a cause when it comes to the definition of promotion and venture or aim. See, a lot of us want to be promoted. Everybody, when we think about promotion, we think about a job. We think about a place of employment. We think about the come up or the one up. But no one wants to elevate their mind, elevate their thoughts, elevate their whole way of doing things. Sometimes how we operate, how we move, basically impedes upon our willingness to go higher. Sometimes we're so stuck in the past and we're so stuck in what was and the glories of yesterday and the wins of yesterday that we fail to see that in order for us to be promoted or to be elevated, we must change. We must transition into something greater. You can't expect greatness to come about, and you can't expect to be a better human or to be elevated in any way if you're not willing to sacrifice and make certain sacrifices to be elevated. I just want to share with you, I just want to be in a place of elevation. I don't want to be in a place of promotion, because guess what? If I'm in a place of promotion, I could be demoted. That means I could lose my place or my position. So a lot of people want to be promoted, and they do all this stuff. They, show up on time to work. They go the extra mile. They do work overtime. They do all this stuff. And then somebody else turns around and gets your promotion. And promotion, and you're like, what did I do? Like, what did I do wrong? I did everything right, and I still didn't get promoted. Some of you and some of us are stuck on the idea of a temporary position. Sometimes people that don't necessarily do the work get promoted. And what do you do about this situation? Well, I have this saying, there's appointed versus the anointed. And if you're appointed for a position, you're a temporary filler. You are a person or individual that is designed to hold that position for a season. And then there's the anointed, the person that is designed and created and is fashioned in every sense of the word for that position. There is a season. Sometimes when you will do all that you can do and you won't be promoted. And what do? Do you give up? Do you sit down? Do you throw in a towel? Do you say, you know what, enough is enough, I quit? No, you keep pressing. You keep being consistent. You keep pushing forward. But I don't want to be promoted, because promotion is temporal. Promotion is temporary. I want to be elevated in every sense of the word. I want to elevate my mind. I want to elevate my heart. I want to elevate my thoughts. I want to transition into greatness. If you're willing to put in the work and set goals, and not only set goals, put those goals into action. I have some crazy goals for this year. Like, one of my goals is debt cancellation. Okay. And in order to have debt cancellation, I got to work towards that goal. So what happens? The setback happens. You set a goal outlandish like debt cancellation, and what happens? Your student loans come in the mail and they remind you of your debt. But do you drag yourself down and you have negative connotation inside your mind because your bills just came in for your student loans? Absolutely not. You still read that goal every day and you believe that goal. I don't know what your goals are for the year. If you've even set goals, if you're willing to put these goals into action. But I encourage you today to set goals. And sometimes those goals are going to be outlandish to other people. Sometimes their goals are going to be crazy. But set the goals anyway and read those goals every day and work towards those goals. Now, how did I work towards debt cancellation? You asked me this question. So I set the goal at the beginning of the year, which is not too far from today. And the day after I set the goal, my student loans came in the mail. And so I looked at it. I was like, I didn't even have a thought. I wasn't upset, but I knew what it was. It's the kickback. When you set goals to move in the positive space, in a positive direction, there's always going to be the negative connotation to remind you of where you are. But in order to elevate, you got to see the destination, see higher than where you are. You can't dwell where you are. You have to elevate your mind, the thoughts, your spirit. And so I would like to share something with you. I was not just promoted, but I was just taken on for a new assignment. And the new assignment is the educational coordinator for the Office of Mental Health. I'm the face of Office of Mental Health. And with that assignment and with that elevation came debt cancellation. After some time of being with this department and with this corporation, I will have debt cancellation. That's just one of the perks. But see, if I would have just focused on my goal, on my loans, and how my goal didn't match up with my current reality, I wouldn't be elevated. But I didn't even give it a second thought. I looked at it. I've been working towards it. I've been paying money on my student loans, and most of us have student debt. But I believe in the elevation of your mind, and I have a God trait in me that says, I don't care what the situation looks like. I'm going to believe above and beyond what I see. So I know this is a long podcast because this is the first of the new year, and there will be many more. I plan to, be more consistent. And I apologize to all of you who were expecting my podcasts. So forgive me for last year not closing out the year with a great podcast. A lot happened in last year, in the end of last year, and I was working like a slave, working more than one job. And so now that I've freed up more time, I can actually come on and do podcast, something that I love to do. Well, what is your elevation? How many of you want to be promoted? Remember, promotion is temporal. Promotion can be demotion. You could be promoted in a month and demoted in another month. So it fluctuates. It's not constant. But I will tell you, the garbage man is outside now, coming up the hill. I will tell you, elevation is better. Elevation is higher, because guess what? It's a mindset. It's not only transitioning into greatness, but it's transitioning into your position, what you were born to do, what you were created to do, what you were designed to do. I know most of you hear my garbage truck outside of my home. I do my podcast in my house sometimes, and sometimes I'm on the go when I do that podcast. So if you want to be elevated, you have to do the necessary steps and take the necessary steps to be elevated. You just can't have the same mindset, Debbie Downer, Petty Patty, Negative Nancy, Negative Nathaniel, Petty Paul, and be, in that space. You can't be in that space and expect to be elevated. You can't be in that space and expect to grow. You can't be in that space and expect great things. You have to transition into a different mindset, a different thought process, a different headspace altogether. Some of us are so negative and stuck in the past that we allow this to impede our growth and our elevation. So, elevate, elevate, elevate. I thank you for listening. I am your host, Zappora Camper. You be well. You be blessed. Have an awesome, awesome day. Thank you for listening. Happy New Year.
This is the Phenomenal Beats exclusive.